Friends, colleagues, partners, hello everyone. Feel free to write in the chat. We have a stellar lineup of speakers here today. Allow me to introduce our guests.
Yes, hello, everyone.
3 key speakers who are going to share their full, incredibly vibrant energy and who are ready to convey the energy of today's meeting. That's me, Dmitry Razumovsky, and Sergey Drozdovsky, an experienced entrepreneur who specializes in internet marketing and content marketing. Sergey is an expert in cryptocurrencies, and today he's ready to share his energy and his vision for this amazing project. Sergey, a few words about Igor and me for those who don't know us, and let's set the pace. We'll stick to the timing as much as possible.
Yes, well, let me introduce them. Dmitry Razumovsky, a businessman, managed an enterprise of 700 people, founded his own business at 23, created the Koroshai Mesto cottage community, earned his first million in the 2008 crisis, and built a sales department of 103,000 partners. He's the author of the training course Entrepreneur Winner's Strategy. And I know Dmitry as an experienced entrepreneur, a person who knows how to conduct networking very coolly, bringing people together, as they say. Yeah, I've been to many events myself. I've been to forums with him. He's a very cool professional. Igor Bondarenko, entrepreneur, crypto enthusiast, investor. A natural born leader, Igor, that's exactly right, just as it's written. Experience in managing a team of more than 3,000 people. I would even say in the military sphere, with a high ranking position. Igor just didn't mention it. Higher management and economic education, has experience building business teams in 15 countries. In my opinion, Igor has even more, but let's skip that.
We'll skip that, yes?
All right, colleagues, I'm reminding you that you all have another meeting with 2 interesting guests at the end, for sure. So this will give you a lot of positivity. Now, I want to ask you a rhetorical question. You've all seen how Bitcoin grew right before your eyes? Literally from 30 cents in 2011 to 110,000 last year, and the return was more than 37,000% over 14 years. So once you could have invested 1,000 and now get 300 to 500 million, but we only see this in hindsight. We also observed the next boom of Solana and Ethereum with a return of 16,000% over 9 years. Yes, it doesn't happen overnight. Becoming a crypto millionaire takes some time. It's important to be at the start of a trend, at the very beginning of a trend. We've observed mining with you, the mining industry, where at one point you could have gotten in for 3,000, a few alt miners, 3 units, let's say, at $1,000 each, and mine 15 to 20 Bitcoins for yourself in 6 to 8 months. Well, today that's over $1 million, meaning $1 million could have been bought for 3,000. So who wouldn't want to buy $1 million for 3,000? Well, that's a rhetorical question. Those thoughts have always excited me. So how do you find an opportunity like that? Unfortunately, I missed all these opportunities, all of them, with Bitcoin, altcoins, and ICOs. I missed them and only observed them in hindsight. And since I'm both an entrepreneur and a dreamer, here's another rhetorical question for you. Imagine that you've now observed the entire dynamics of the last 15 years, how rapidly civilization and markets are developing, how the agenda is changing, how politics is changing, everything is changing, the world is in total chaos, complete unpredictability, uncertainty. Well, in any situation, it's better to have money than not. And so you have a time machine and you go back to the year 2011. Please answer in the chat, knowing this information, how much Bitcoin would you have bought, realizing that, well, you'd be much better off with them now than without them. Just ask yourself the question, if you knew everything, how it would all develop, how much Bitcoin would you have bought? I'm interested to see your questions. Maybe someone would have bought $100 worth, someone else would have gone all in. Gone all in, yes. Well, that's if we had known. That's if we had known, right? And if we had a time machine, unfortunately we don't. I'm sorry to disappoint you. There's no such time machine that can send us into the past. However, we do have a time machine that can send us into the future from point A, where we are now, into the future that we are creating and that we see. And so once we've seen the reality of these trends and these market events, next we need to carefully analyze what's happening around us now and try to carefully spot similar trends. And today we've noticed such a trend. Now, these opportunities already, specifically these ones we just talked about, won't yield similar profits, but there are new opportunities that will yield even more profit.
So let's figure out what these opportunities are. Igor, the floor is yours.
Yes, Dimitri, thank you. And look, artificial intelligence is an integral part of our future that will turn the world upside down in the next 5 years. And the good news is that most people don't realize this yet. There's no need to fear it, you just need to understand what it is and how you can use it for your own benefit. AI is a fast-growing technology market. The AI market is projected to be 244 to 376 billion a year in 2025 to 2026. Its growth is projected to reach about $2.5 trillion by 2034. The capitalization of AI companies like Nvidia is over 5 trillion. Alphabet is around 4 trillion. And it's not just a financial asset, but a technology being implemented in all industries, unlike crypto. AI is being integrated into the economy, and very quickly. We can already see how AI is changing the labor market, the scale of layoffs at the end of 2024, and already into the ongoing 2026. On the slide, you see 5 companies in the top 10 that are doing very well. And yet, 94,000 workers have been laid off in the US tech sector. Microsoft 9,000, Amazon 14,000, Intel 21,000, IBM 8,000 workers. And this is due to the fact that artificial intelligence is entering there. Forecasts: over 50% of jobs could be affected by automation in the coming years. Millions of positions in office and administrative fields are at risk of transformation. Companies are accelerating the transition to AI to cut costs and increase margins. And here are quotes from experts. From Silicon Valley, from a sensational article with 70 million views. The gap between public perception and reality is huge right now. And this gap is dangerous because it prevents people from preparing. By the end of 2025, some of the world's top engineers admitted they'd handed over most of their coding work to AI. Artificial intelligence doesn't just replace one thing with another. It's a universal replacement. Like for a share of intellectual labor. It's getting better at everything at the same time. This could be the most important year of your career. Act accordingly. Artificial intelligence will eliminate 50% of jobs. And on the next slide, we see the main problem of the AI market today. Because it's in the hands of 5 corporations such as Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Amazon, and Meta. Elon Musk said it's becoming increasingly likely that AI will surpass any individual's intelligence by the end of 2025, and potentially all humans by 2027 to 2030. Bill Gates' statement: in the coming decades, AI will replace humans in most professions. This change will be profound, and in the future, everyone will have their own AI agent to help with work and life. Sergey.
Yes, well, whoever owns AI owns the consciousness of people. If we recently said that whoever owns information owns the world, right? Now we can rephrase it slightly and say that whoever owns AI owns people's consciousness. By some estimates, today the United States, a single country, controls 90% of the computing power for AI. Moreover, they are cutting off oxygen to other countries, so they can't develop technologies fast enough to stay ahead, to be in the lead, to be smarter. And what do you think, if the world continues along this current path, could a situation arise where jobs are controlled by the algorithms of those 5 companies Igor mentioned? Access to AI will be regulated by the US State Department, and countries and businesses will be dependent on a foreign computing center created by these large companies. And AI will be a privilege, not a tool, and the rich will get smarter, while the rest will be essentially defenseless and will have to submit. And so AI, besides the fact that it controls everything now, even that operation, remember, to capture Maduro in Venezuela, was controlled by AI. They modeled it through the Pentagon and so on. The US Department of Defense signed a $200 million contract with one of the AI companies, and they're going to increase it now. So AI is being implemented everywhere for control, to influence people, what content to serve, and so forth. But there's also a positive side to AI. That is, AI can help anyone become many times smarter, help solve their tasks, and so on. And today we'll talk about the Gonca AI project from the Lieberman brothers. And first we'll talk about who is behind this Gonca project. The Lieberman brothers are Daniil and David, so their intelligence and experience, let's say, is valued by investors at $400 million. Well, that's in connection with their actual actions and projects they've already implemented. So they're in America now, Russian American serial entrepreneurs, investors, founders of tech companies working in the field of AI, augmented reality investments. They create successful projects. They sold that augmented reality technology to Snapchat for a lot of money and also managed that process there. Also, business projects like Sibiland, IdeaSpace, Kanobu, and so on. So they worked in Silicon Valley at Snap Corporation, and then they founded the Lieberman's Company, which was established in 2021 as a holding company that specifically invests in various startups. So what exactly is their whole idea? It's that AI shouldn't belong to just a few corporations or a single state, as is currently the case, right? All of us, all these other states, they're playing catch up, they're being restricted, and so on. It should belong to the world, otherwise we'll end up in a digital oligarchy, they say. The alternative they're proposing sounds both bold and convincing. And the GNK AI project is a decentralized AI project launched at the end of 2025. In other words, the platform itself uses blockchain technology to pool the power of GPU graphics cards worldwide, which can rent out their capacity in exchange for GNK tokens. Now, on the next slide, we'll see, what needs to be done to start mining these GNK tokens on your own. And the goal itself is to make AI decentralized, beyond anyone's control, to build an independent infrastructure so people can learn, use artificial intelligence, and also create AI models. And also so AI agents could utilize the power of GNK, Gonka, right, to evolve and so forth, so that everyone could have access basically to AI. And so what exactly needs to be done to start mining GNK on your own? And that's the coin itself, the infrastructure, and the Gonka blockchain. Well, for that, you need to understand IT at the very least, programming and server configuration. I think, well, give me a plus if anyone here understands IT programming and can set up a server for mining some kind of cryptocurrency. Give me a plus, maybe you'll be very useful to the community. Okay, I see 1 plus. Moving on, that is, in order to mine, you need to pay specialists, IT people who cost money. Right now, their rate is from $5,000 and up. You need to connect equipment starting from $35,000. Well, if you look around, you might find something cheaper. But powerful graphics cards, GPUs, they cost, well, especially the latest models, some crazy money, hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. A spot in an industrial data center, meaning you need to connect so there's accessible internet at a decent speed and a power supply because they consume a lot of electricity, and you also need to monitor and manage these servers 24/7. And now I'll hand it over to Dimitri because we're going to talk about the operator formula XAI, which provides the very opportunities that Dimitri will explain.
Yes, Sergey, thank you so much. As you know, we decided to keep the company name a secret for a little while, for several days, and today, finally, we're ready to reveal it to you. We are called Formula XAI. So this isn't a random name. It was chosen by us for a reason, to participate in the race. We understand that racing is linked to formula, and we intend to take the lead here. We have all the potential for this a powerful, well-coordinated IT team. Accordingly, we're experts in mining. It's not our first time having experience setting up mining equipment. We have super professional experts, and you'll see for yourself, gradually comparing us with other pools and realizing that yes, indeed, mining can be done in a makeshift way, and you can get something out of it. Or you can do it professionally, and in doing so, you can get more, accomplish things more efficiently, more quickly, and grow larger and develop even more rapidly. So, for Formula X, infrastructure operator. So what do we offer? We're a high-performance GPU infrastructure operator specializing in deploying and managing nodes in the Gonka network. We create a stable computing environment that allows users to participate independently with our help. In mining, in extracting GNK, the Gonka token, GNK, without needing to understand the hardware, without needing to buy or set anything up, without needing to monitor or track these processes 24/7, you hand it over to a professional. And accordingly, we do this work for you for a small commission. What's happening? What is the GNK token, Gonka GNK? That is, it's a utility, useful token. It's linked to computing power. And it turns out that when these powerful GPUs are combined into a single network, independent startups and AI agents turn to them. These could be well-known companies, or they could be little-known ones. So they connect to the power and perform calculations there, handle their operations, and then deliver them to users. Thus, for example, take any startup, right? For it to have the necessary power there, right, to create AI agents, it needs to buy equipment for, say, $24 million. It can't afford that, but it can connect to the Gonka network through API keys and get all the calculations done without needing to buy this equipment, wait for it, turn it on, spend a ton of money, but just immediately get the actual result, that final benefit, that final value that needs to be delivered to the client. And for this, payment is made in the GNK token GNK Gonka. Consequently, the token is constantly in circulation. There's a constant demand for it. And this demand over the last 3 months amounts to 84,000 requests. That is from various independent third-party companies that connect to the Gonka network in order to perform computations. Accordingly, the token circulates, and this model allows us to understand that this token is popular, useful, and rapidly really gaining momentum, capturing the market. So the project was founded by the Lieberman brothers, as we've already mentioned. We use equipment and data centers, not by buying them, but by renting them. So essentially, buying equipment means losing 6 months on its ordering, installation, and activation. While by the time it arrives and is turned on, it's quite likely that new equipment will have been released that needs to be turned on again, and it's 10 times more powerful than what we bought. Therefore, at the present moment, investing in huge data centers, billions of dollars, we don't do that, as large companies have already invested in them. These data centers exist. We rent capacity in them, set up our nodes on them, and start mining the GNK token. So GNK has a constantly growing demand potential. And that is, its emission doesn't come out of thin air, but a limited emission is distributed precisely on the principle that all miners, all participants who mine the Gonka token, well, they perform once a day, a measurement of who has what speed. That's exactly why the name Gonka or race resonates with this. Based on this, the token accrual is made, yes, and then all this power is used specifically as useful power for artificial intelligence. Unlike Bitcoin, in Bitcoin, there's a colossal amount of mining equipment, but it's used around the clock only for calculation, for mining hash rate. In this case, the equipment involved in Gonka mining is used 90% specifically for computations and only 10% of the time to conduct competitions and assess who brought what benefit to the community. The Gonka network is fully decentralized. The Lieberman brothers don't control it, meaning it's a DEX. Everything is organized on the principle of voting. Our principle is to take a leading position and vote in the network, meaning to participate with our vote, to develop, and naturally to receive maximum benefits and advantages. The key market problems are clear to you: high entry barriers, complex setup, unstable private solutions, hash rate loss, loss of earnings, downtime, and frozen funds. So naturally, a professional approach is required here. It's important to understand that the larger the company, the larger the team, and the larger the community, the larger we are together, the more weight we carry, the more we're heard, and the more rewards we receive, making it more profitable for all of us. I mean, we can't invest 100 billion in equipment right away, but we can grow into a market giant that operates with such capacities, well, in just 1 or 2 years. The key is starting right now at the beginning. What does our Formula X AI pool do? A full cycle of GPU infrastructure. We manage capacities professionally, ensuring continuous and stable 24/7 operation. Thanks to our team, we provide a fully transparent economy with clear tracking of token distribution and offer an accessible entry for partners and investors. For those who get the idea and realize what they want, like wanting 10, 20, or 50 Bitcoins back then. So someone wanting 1 or 2,000 GNK coins. So we provide them with that opportunity to get them on the most favorable terms through us. As of today, mining is done using 3 types of equipment: NVIDIA H100, then A100, and NVIDIA H200. The pools we've analyzed entered the market in parallel, well, each at its own pace, noticed the idea and launched, so mostly they're taking the easiest path now. The easiest path is to rent an NVIDIA H800 rack, which means 8 of those devices in that rack. At $35,000 each, 8 times 35, so that's roughly $450,000 for the cost of such equipment, you see, and then earn the GNK token. We went a bit further and set the bar higher right from the start. So we currently have 3 suppliers, meaning 3 data centers, with whom we have agreements, contracts where we've secured discounts. So we're connecting our GNK nodes and deploying them exclusively on NVIDIA H200s. So consequently, because they have higher performance and more computing power, we're aiming to earn more coins. Accordingly, we're also expecting the release of new ASIC solutions from Bitmain. We are monitoring them closely. And according to preliminary data, performance could exceed existing equipment by 5 to 10 times. So we have contact monitoring, so we're keeping our finger on the pulse as much as possible in this area. How to start with Formula X AI? Create an account, register on the platform, choose a participation period, select a suitable license for the computing pool, and activate it with a convenient payment method. As of today, we have deployed 2 nodes, BEP20 and TRC20. So you can pay with USDT in BEP20 or TRC20 format. Step 3, receive GNK tokens, link your personal wallet, all necessary instructions on how to do this will be provided. After license activation, your funds go into mining. So the license is basically a service fee, a small commission. So all your main funds that you'd like to enter with, many would like to go all in. Many would like to have such a time machine. So I want to warn you that these should not be borrowed or credit funds, but your own within your financial development plan, within your capital creation plan. And mine GNK tokens to your balance at the end of each epoch. It's important to understand that at the very beginning, there's the largest amount of rewards, and you need to plan your actions so that right at the start and as quickly as possible, you, your circle, and your people can connect and mine the most, achieving the greatest financial result. Parameters fluctuate, meaning they depend on the time spent online, the number of operations performed, settings, connected equipment, and volume discounts. The more, the bigger the discount. And the approximate cost today is calculated in such a way that you can calculate your approach. Say, for example, you have $2,000, right? You can understand that approximately plus or minus, you will receive approximately 2,000 GNK tokens in total. That is, when you participate through mining through our pool, through Formula X AI. So this is an average calculation. It is, of course, adjusted every day. Well, you should have a figure in mind to aim for and accordingly build your strategy based on that. You and your partners, your circle. So, licenses. That is, you can register absolutely free of charge without any licenses. Accordingly, your license costs will be zero. Accordingly, you will have the opportunity for your partners and clients to purchase licenses based on your recommendation. You will receive a 5% bonus from these license sales. Consequently, the maximum with this approach, meaning if you don't have a license, you can put into the equipment, into GNK token mining, well, load and send $500, 500 USDT. Accordingly, if you don't have a license, you don't receive bonuses from the company in the form of GNK drops. And you won't have access to income from your partner's income, but you will have access to a direct bonus. If someone, based on your recommendation, sends their tokens to mining, their funds to race mining, then you will receive a 3% direct bonus. Well, for example, if a person sends $1,000 to race mining on your recommendation, that's a 3% direct bonus, 30 USDT, that you will receive. In the case where you have the first minimal license for $25, which is a small fee, accordingly, your bonus for selling a license immediately increases from 5% to 10. So if someone purchases other licenses based on your recommendation, you immediately get 10% of the license cost. In this case, you will be able to send a maximum of $1,000 into the equipment. You will already start receiving the GNK token drop. That is, your license will be credited with regularly throughout the year. The license is valid for 1 year, so for $25, these $25 will be regularly credited. From the total number of tokens mined by the company, a portion of the tokens will be credited specifically to these licenses. Accordingly, you will have access to a level 1 matching bonus, meaning all the people who loaded their funds into race mining on your recommendation from the tokens they receive, however many they get. For example, all your friends received 1,000,000 tokens, so your 1% from that first level means 10,000 tokens are yours. That's just an extra bonus for your recommendations. And then it works like this. Each license increases your maximum limit, the total amount that you personally can use. In the mining race, moving from one license to another is very easy by upgrading and paying the difference, so you don't have to buy a brand new license. You start with the $25 one, get your GNK tokens, and then move up to the next license and the next, and so on. Naturally, the higher the license, the larger the GNK drop you receive in the form of passive earnings from the total pool of mined tokens. And it also unlocks more levels for you to earn the matching bonus. So we expect online entrepreneurs to start their business with the $500 or $1,000 licenses. The $500 or $1,000 levels offer a great chance to build capital and provide a solid matching bonus from deeper levels. And from there, you'll want to build your career. A career will allow you to increase your license sales bonus from 10% up to 50% and earn career statuses, bonuses, and rewards. We'll explain exactly how the affiliate program works in our next meeting. Our goal today is to show you the market scale, how we operate, and how simple it is. Licenses: a user tops up their USDT balance, and the funds are pooled into $10,000 increments. You can see the progress bar as the $10,000 pool fills up. Once it reaches $10,000, your share could be 500, 1,000, 100, or even the entire pool. The pool starts working and a unique hash is generated for it. This means you can see exactly how those $10,000 are performing and how many GNK tokens they earn. You'll know that, for example, $5,000 in that pool are yours. That means half of all the tokens mined by this specific pool belong to you. Formula X then takes a commission from that in tokens, and you keep the remaining tokens. There's a 20% commission. 10% goes to partners, 1% is for licenses, and 9% stays with the company. You get 80% of the mined tokens directly. Pools are being filled. A launch takes 7 to 14 days at most. Usually it happens in 2 to 3 days. So once the pool is collected, the standard launch is 2 to 3 days, but we allow ourselves a maximum limit of 7 to 14 days. So the pool is launched into the computing infrastructure. The pool operates as a single computing unit for 30 days. And for all 30 days, you monitor it, seeing how many tokens are available to you. Well, sort of. And you receive GNK tokens. The mining forecast is updated once a day. The update takes the market situation into account. You see the entire pool's mining, evaluate your share, and understand how many tokens you'll get. Every 7 days in the dashboard, you can withdraw tokens to your wallet, claim them, and they are unlocked for you via smart contract over 180 days. Accordingly, regular accruals with a gradual release of tokens. Thus, by once putting any amount into GNK token mining, you receive it systematically over the course of 180 days. That is, and you expect that you'll receive approximately, let's say, for $1,000, 1,000 tokens over 180 days. I mean, it's yours. So in this way, it's as simple as possible now. It's very beneficial for us at this moment for the token rate to be as low as possible, to get as many tokens as possible. And naturally, it's beneficial for us that the demand for AI infrastructure increases. And when 3 to 6 months pass for the token to cost like $2, $4, $5, $10, $50, and so on. So professional infrastructure, a simple start, a transparent result. Sergey, the floor is yours.
Yes, let me continue. So, well, I'd like to add just a little bit more to what you were saying. Yeah, that you can mine starting from $25. In general, let's put it this way. How much will a person get who put, say, $1,000 into mining? As of today, we can only calculate approximately because today the cost of mining is around $1, well, plus or minus. So, accordingly, if you send $1,000 into mining, you can get around 1,000 GNK, Gonka coins, with a huge and truly expansive perspective for the future, because Gonka is in fact artificial intelligence computing that operates on a decentralized basis, which is a really innovative and forward-thinking approach. And we provide the unique opportunity, for anyone who is interested to participate in Formula X with minimal costs and barriers to entry, where you can simply, without the need to buy anything at all, no license is required. Just load up to $500 into mining and you just start mining. And it's distributed there in a very straightforward way. 80% of the proceeds goes directly to you, while 20% goes to the operator who is responsible for maintaining and supporting the system. This setup makes it incredibly accessible and easy for people to get involved, even if they have never done anything like this before. Next is a very simple entry through a user-friendly platform. That is, everything is made as simple as possible there. You registered, paid, and started mining. Professional maintenance, meaning the operator will maintain these data centers. You will simply be receiving the coin. The company handles everything, and that's what the 20% commission is for accordingly. The maximum number of coins is achieved through optimization. What does this mean? It means specialists will constantly optimize calculations, as new updates are released. And whoever does it first gets to take the maximum number of coins. Consequently, the Formula X pool will always be on top, always taking more. And there is constant customer support. That means support, questions, answers, and so on. And regarding the many questions I see here about how much, what, and how, we'll go over that tomorrow. We'll announce the time later, so come then and we'll tell you everything. What do mining data centers look like? Well, this is roughly what these video cards look like. In these special cabinets, industrial data centers with NVIDIA H100 and H200. I've prepared a small overview here. I'll open it now. I went on Google to see how much an H100 video card costs in Russia. So it costs about $25,000 in Russia. Maybe in the West it's cheaper, like $15,000, But in Russia it's 25,000, and if there are 8 of them, right, like 8 video cards in one cabinet, that cost $200,000 to $300,000. And if we're talking about the H200, they cost 10 times more because they're more powerful. And so for ordinary people with limited funds, this is simply out of reach. But mining pools actually allow people to join in and mine with any amount. And we are providing the opportunity to do exactly that. And so according to Bernstein Research for 2025, just for comparison, building a single artificial intelligence facility with a capacity of 1 gigawatt cost $35 billion in America. And these 5 corporations are the ones building these massive data centers. But imagine what people can achieve. People joining together in pools can far exceed the data centers built by large companies. Why does Gonka have the potential for hundreds and thousands of times in returns? Well, first of all, because there's already experience from when, for example, Bitcoin and Ethereum have already walked this path and made millions of percent in 15 years. Secondly, there's a fixed supply of 1 billion GNK. No new coins will be issued, and the principle of scarcity drives growth, just like with Bitcoin. When demand grows and supply is limited, the price always goes up. How will this growth happen, and why will this coin's value increase? Because it has a practical, utility function. Meaning it's a payment unit for actual AI, artificial intelligence computations. When either an operator, a person, an AI agent, or an AI model sends a request for a computation, you'll need to spend some money in the form of a coin, GNK, and accordingly it will be used and circulated. And the growth in the number of such requests in the network from these independent models and developers will increase GNK consumption, creating demand and price growth. And the halving model is also involved here, just like with Bitcoin. That is, with each epoch, there's a distribution of mining by epochs. An epoch lasts 25 hours. And how much does that come to? Well, around 30 days, basically. And each time mining becomes more difficult, so the emission decreases over time, fewer new tokens are produced, and a long-term effect of accumulating deficit occurs. Supply is shrinking, demand is growing, and the price gets support because of this. Exactly by analogy, as with Bitcoin. And GNK's development pace is already 20 times faster than the Bitcoin network. If we look at the beginning, GNK started when the guys announced it in August, it launched around November, and in 3 months the infrastructure grew to Bitcoin's size, which took Bitcoin 7 years. So GNK took 3 months, while Bitcoin took 7 years for that. Well, because crypto is already widely accepted, the whole world knows what it is. And in 3 months, $250 million have been invested, including large funds like Bitfury, which invested $50 or $60 million there. And it took Bitcoin years to go through its journey. Just a second. From enthusiasts to an industrial scale. I mean, first they mined it on some computers or laptops, then video cards appeared, then ASICs, and so on and so forth. And here is the possible development dynamics by year. We fed the info into an AI, asked it to analyze how GNK will develop, and it said that last year and this year, 2026, is the early phase. So now there's high volatility. Yes, the price can soar quickly or fall quickly, but a community is forming and interest in this AI infrastructure is growing. Almost everyone uses AI instead of a search engine now, so that's a request for computation, and computation happens, which costs money, and people will use it. And while we're at this early stage, we can mine GNK at $1, but in a year, they'll be mining GNK at $10 or $100 already. And so we, as early Bitcoin enthusiasts, so to speak, can make very big money. 2027, 2028 is the scaling phase, right? Integration with AI projects. There will be demand stabilization. And when the utility of using Gonka grows naturally, that's going to push the price even higher. 2029, 2030 is maturity, as AI says, it's mass adoption, usage, scarcity, and so on. All of this will continue to push for growth. And now look, Dimitri was talking about a time machine as if we could go back to 2011. I'd love to go back because I was an idiot then too. I was told about Bitcoin back in 2012. And even in 2014, I didn't buy it because I thought it was crap that nobody needed. And if I were there now, what would I do? Well, I'd put all my money in knowing what would happen. Of course, I'd probably even take out loans and everything. But I don't recommend that. Let me say right now, I don't recommend it because there are risks everywhere, of course. We are now in the position shown here on the chart. Yeah, when Bitcoin was around 10 to 30 cents, and what could happen in the next couple of years? Well, it could repeat the same scenario as Bitcoin. It could. And let's talk about who's already talking about Gonka. It's already buzzing all over the internet. Now I'll let Dimitri speak. He'll tell you more about it in detail.
Well, the first video I watched was with Margulan Seisembayev. Right on the podcast, he made the decision to put $1 million into Gonka right away. Yeah, I mean, he got so excited that he instantly decided to support the project. Then I watched the one with Oscar Hartman. You should definitely watch it. So these videos, they just open up your vision of this situation. Oscar, his quote is that, yeah, so there's a chance that all of this, well, carries very high risks and there's very little probability it'll work out. But judging by how it's all moving, it's just the biggest market, the most massive market of all that have existed. It's a $1 trillion market and it's only just beginning. So passing it by and just watching it is, well, a very high price for a mistake. Alexander Sokolovsky asks very thorough, detailed questions. He breaks it down step by step. Why, you shouldn't buy equipment. Why you should invest right now. Meaning how important speed is, what the essence of Gonka is, how exactly AI connects, like what the monetization is, why the Lieberman brothers aren't raising money, aren't collecting money, aren't taking money from funds, why they aren't running to everyone for money. After all, they've already raised money before for other startups like 18 million. They sold their business for 60 million. Why wouldn't they do like Pavel Durov and raise 1.8 billion for Ton? But they say that's not our way and we don't want to be on the hook on someone's leash. It should belong to everyone, just like Bitcoin. Everything is like in Bitcoin. Whoever wants to, however they want, they connect. A colossal infrastructure has been deployed. Anyone can connect here too, every pool, a colossal infrastructure belonging to no one, meaning it's community managed, not by those five corporations. Many, by the way, of the leaders of those five corporations are so compromised there on Epstein Island and so on. So we don't want it to belong to them. We want it to belong to everyone. Therefore, everyone can just unite and do it like with Bitcoin, meaning it doesn't have anyone who controls it. The same goes for Gonka. The Lieberman brothers don't control it. They have weight, they vote, but on par with everyone else. The project is developing specifically for the purpose of maximum benefit. Be sure to check out Gleb Solomon, read Forbes about the Lieberman brothers, and Binance reviews. And on this slide, I would like to take a moment to warmly invite our very distinguished VIP guests, our valued partners, and our wonderful colleagues who have decided to join this race with us to support us. I invite you to share your opinion and tell us why you specifically chose to join the race and what motivated you. Why, well, why did you decide to join this journey with us? I mean, what hooked you about the race? Why are you? We are all here together, standing with us on the same starting line, and I want to ask you what made you decide to do business with us? Rustam, if you are present, if it is convenient for you, and if you have a camera and good lighting, please join in. Vladimir, you as well. It seems Rustam will go first, then Vladimir, is that right? Rustam, greetings. I am glad to see you in such high spirits and a wonderful mood today. Yes, please tell us what you think and why you decided to develop with us.
Yes, great friends, give some thumbs up to the previous speakers. The speakers covered the topic perfectly. I think it's clear to all of you what to do here. I mean, briefly, it all comes down to simple things, which is passive income and active income. Well, active income is not mandatory, it's optional. Passive income, well, as they say, it's a sin not to use it because if you know the history, well, we all know the stories. We've heard Google, Apple, someone bought shares. Oh, who was it? Created Apple, then sold it a month later, and everyone laughs at him. The whole world laughs at him. You all know the story of the guy who bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 bitcoins.
That's about $600 to $700 million now. He spent $600 to $700 million on 2 pizzas. Everyone sees it as a meme. And so knowing all these stories already, right? You're always watching reels, scrolling through TikToks, and there's just a ton of those stories, right? Where people misjudge the situation. And so here, when such a powerful topic comes up, well, as they say, it's a sin not to risk a certain amount. So when I first saw it, I was, well, really fired up because I've been doing various businesses for 25 years in business. And in 25 years, well, a lot of projects have passed through my hands. If we take referral programs, I mean, a lot of projects have passed through my hands, maybe more than 100 that I personally participated in. And everything I've seen before is like an old clunker compared to what Gonka AI offers. I mean, really, everything I saw before, they were all great projects. And I made a lot of money in many of them. But it's all just an old clunker compared to what Gonka AI offers. For example, let me share my own assessments. My personal record for earnings from referral programs is $1 million in a single month. That is my personal record. And in this project, Gonk AI, I'm going to break my personal record many times over. And if the Gonk AI coin grows very well over a few years, like Sergey showed today, the growth rates, how Gonk grew and how Bitcoin grew over that same period, right? So it's a very good slide. And if Gonk AI grows well over a few years, then you could even become not just a millionaire or multimillionaire, you could even become a billionaire. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't want to scare anyone with big numbers. Someone might get scared now and say, what billionaire? What are you talking about? But actually, I think there are ambitious leaders and people on this webinar. And so I want to say that here, if everything goes perfectly and the coin grows a lot and there's every chance for that, then you could even become a billionaire. And why not? You should even set goals like that. As for artificial intelligence, friends, well, you see it all yourselves. You know it all. You use artificial intelligence yourselves. For example, I have my own private hotel, and I had a lawyer working at my hotel. Can you imagine? A male lawyer worked there. He has a PhD in law. So not just a lawyer, but a PhD in law. And because I have personally been actively using ChatGPT for about a year and a half or so, and my hotel manager uses ChatGPT, We just fired that lawyer, and imagine he left us, well, because he became unnecessary to us because of ChatGPT. And he quit, can you imagine? And he left. In the country where my hotel is, he went to work for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Can you imagine? So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs turns out to be less efficient than my hotel. So my hotel fired him because he wasn't needed, but that country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs hired him. And that's what artificial intelligence is. And today, everyone sees it, understands it. Some are already using all sorts of things themselves. And so the demand is high. The demand will only keep growing. It's going to change our lives significantly. And you and I are right now at the very epicenter of all this development of this topic. And it's a great stroke of luck that we found out about it at the very start, right? Because many people don't know about it yet. Many people dream of such an opportunity, but we already know about it now. And well, there really are very high chances. Of course, no one gives guarantees, but there are very high chances that we've caught the start of Google, the start of Bitcoin, as said many times today, the start of Amazon, the start of Nvidia, the start of some other big companies. Many networkers know there's a rule called 1990. So consider that today we've landed not even in the 1% of 1990 if we take referral systems, but we've essentially landed in the 0.1%. Do you see? I mean, we've gotten in at the very, very beginning. So I recommend you look into this topic, talk it over carefully with your mentors. You have your referrers, a chain of mentors. They'll show you all the details. They'll explain everything you didn't understand today. Get involved in the process, take action, take risks, and earn big money. I hope that you and I will become very wealthy through this topic. So I wish you success, friends. I'm handing the microphone to the next speaker.
Thank you, Rustam. Vladimir, I welcome you.
Yes, my friends, can you hear me, see me right?
Yes, you're visible, hearing you well.
So yes, good day to you all. Well, what can I say really? You know, such things do happen, although they occur quite rarely. In your life, you have probably encountered several such periods that, in fact, really changed the situation. Well, the emergence of Bitcoin, you could say, changed the situation. Remember, before Bitcoin and after Bitcoin, it specifically changed the situation, both for business and for the potential of new technologies and so on. Then another situation emerged after that. Well, some didn't believe in it, some said, no, not right now. Then the next situation appeared in this digital world. The emergence of smart contracts. Also a very serious reality. Some missed it too, some didn't miss it. And moments like these, it doesn't happen every day. You have to keep an eye on them. And now is one of those moments when artificial intelligence has appeared. Every firm will have a secretary, an assistant in various areas. Every person will have such an assistant at home, but all of this needs to be done. Requests. For it to be able to help you, you need to make requests. Requests have a cost, it's computing power. And who will control it? Who will provide you with this power? And of course, this idea, it really hooked me when there's an opportunity to create decentralized computing power. Do you understand? So it's a concrete alternative, a real alternative where absolutely every participant in the network can provide their own power. For example, they can provide a video card or, I don't know, a server, a cloud, and the network combines all these resources from thousands of users, tens of thousands, and provides it to the customer. The customer can buy this computing power by the hour. You don't necessarily have to buy equipment or even for a day, just buy it by the hour. As much as he needs. And this aspect of decentralization, it specifically makes the cost of this computing power even cheaper. It makes it significantly cheaper. It removes dependency and cost. That's what interested me. What else interested me is that here, this coin, it's not speculative. Like, while there's hype, let's all buy it now. It's a utility, meaning it can be exchanged for value. A coin that you can use to pay and buy value. In this case, for us, the value will be computing power. Man, that's cool. And if we have such a coin, a foundation, a native coin for computing power like the native coin of the Binance Exchange, like many, many others in demand, such a native coin, the parent coin GNK. So it's a very serious thing. And to get it right at the beginning now, well, that's a powerful thing. So I also want to say that something is being created now that's away from the red ocean. The red ocean is competitiveness. You compete with each other. They're creating their... Remember, there was a time when apps were being created. One company released an app, then a second, and then a service came along and made a store for these apps. And now all these apps are placed in the store. So, right now, essentially what Gonka is doing, it's making an offer for all artificial intelligence. Any of it in the future. How it will develop, what you'll have there, health assistance, financial assistance, it doesn't matter. Do you understand? Computing power. And it's controlled through the coin. Remember Uber? How it flipped. I mean, there were taxi fleets, then a network appeared, a blockchain network, accounting. You could rent cars, you could provide these cars, you could rent them. And through this accounting, through this network, Uber appeared. Now, practically at this level, but only 1,000 times more powerful, exactly this is being created. A similar story with computing power. This is also very cool, my friends. Well, cost reduction. Let's see what the potential is, right? Cost reduction. No middleman, right? You go directly to the network. You don't go to a data center, to the owner of the data center, but directly to the network. Accessibility for small businesses. That's also a very powerful thing. For small businesses, for developers who come up with good ideas, but they don't have the money yet. They can rent these video cards by the hour, hourly. Even so, at this level, well, blockchain is responsible, obviously, for security and transparency. That's also an important point, right? It records everything. It's impossible to substitute, fix anything, and flexibility and scalability. So you can add to it. The network grows as new nodes are connected. So this story is infinite. That's how it is, my friends. So I think that as of today, these are the points that interested me. I think that as of today, this is a unique offer. So the idea is important. The idea, it has matured. The time has come for this idea. And naturally, there's an opportunity to be at the beginning. And at the beginning, it's always the cream of the crop, as we say, right? So every day it will be harder to get these things, but that's for later. Now you have time, several years, to make a beautiful story for your family in financial terms. Thank you.
Vladimir, thank you. Excellent feedback. Glad you're with us. Now we'll continue with our slides. So tell me now, are the slides fully visible?
Yes, perfectly visible.
Friends, we have about 5 to 7 minutes left until the end of today's meeting. I wanted to give you maximum energy so that you have an understanding, that is, of the volume, scale, direction, situation, and opportunity. So that you thank those who invited you here, that you heard it, you saw it, you learned it, and this information didn't pass you by. Believe me, the information received hasn't let me sleep for several days, several weeks. I want this to rub off on you. I want you to also lose some sleep for a while, and finally solve the problem for your family, for your lineage, and create financial well-being and capital for your family through this opportunity. So Oscar Hartman said this is a $3 trillion market, and Margolan put in $1 million. Yeah, well, everyone has different levels of opportunity. Valery Vavilov, CEO and co-founder of Bitfury. Bitfury is one of the top manufacturers of Bitcoin mining equipment, and he invested $50 million through his fund, not into existing infrastructure, but specifically into the development of new equipment. I mean, right now, only NVIDIA issues quotas, and they issue them through, well, the American establishment, right? The political one, through their president. They allow the United Arab Emirates to buy from NVIDIA, say, $50 million worth, or 500 million, or $1 billion worth. So they allow them to buy equipment because you can't buy it from anyone else, only from NVIDIA. So it's a monopoly company thanks to its specific protocols, specifically its computing standards. However, Bitfury understands that the Bitcoin mining market has been growing by leaps and bounds. and the performance of those ASICs, those processors from 2011, has increased 300,000 times over all this time because no single entity monopolized the market. Instead, different customers and manufacturers worldwide raced in a decentralized way to produce this equipment to get a higher Bitcoin hash rate. The same thing is happening with Gonka. That is, a decision was made to create fundamentally new equipment, which is exactly what the Bitfury Fund is doing. Decentralized machine intelligence is rapidly becoming one of the most important strategic directions in infrastructure, and Gonka is advancing this direction with exceptional speed. I mean, the Lieberman brothers themselves didn't expect such speed. Seriously. 2 months ago, there were basically like 40 GPUs, maybe even 80 GPUs in total. Today, there are 70,000 GPUs worldwide are mining Gonka. It's just an incredible speed. Gonka itself is technically transparent and secure, having passed audits by 30K and CryptoRank. It's on GitHub, has Gonka scan and a public API for developers. So here's exactly what you need to do right now. Please make sure to subscribe to our Telegram channel. Take a moment to thank the person who invited you to today's meeting, reach out to them directly, and then get further instructions from them. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time for a detailed breakdown of the compensation plan. So, our team believes that we need to be first, but we can't do everything poorly, sloppily, or, haphazardly. I mean, you can't launch a website that's unfinished. You can't, launch a platform that hasn't been tested. So the platform will undergo its first tests with the leaders, of course, with our, top partners, with our clients, of whom we have about 10 people. Yes, we'll test all of this initially. Make sure, check everything. And then, consequently, through the chain of inviters, you'll get the chance to register, join the platform, and become a member. So the tests are happening right now. As of today, it's not possible to register just yet. That is, we're still polishing and fine-tuning things today. So I expect that tomorrow our IT team, will put in every effort to make it possible. I understand that you're eager to share this information and the link yourselves. Well, first the leaders have to do it, then everyone else can, and then your friends will be able to. So let's take it step by step. We're in a hurry, yes, but we're not rushing headlong so as not to make any rash moves. Progressively, step by step. So this is our official channel. So we'll be posting official information from the company here. We're launching social media, Telegram, YouTube, all the necessary social networks. We have a registered company for entering into agreements. So accordingly, we have our classic affiliate program. Yes, we'll break it down in detail tomorrow at the same time, go over every bonus, and answer questions on how to earn your first 1,000. Yes, how to earn 10,000, 100,000, a million. That is, what steps you need to take in order to earn very good money here. For today, thank you for your attention, for coming. I thank our speakers. Tomorrow at this same time, a detailed breakdown of the marketing plan. And tomorrow, information about the launch, registration, and the first steps. Thank you for being with us.